I'm getting ready to take a trip with the Waymo One as a Waymo One rider, and I'm going to multiple locations, picking up some snacks and goodies, and a little bit of groceries. So here we go. To open the door, you simply press the button.
This car is all yours with no one up front.
So I'm getting in the car. I'm going to shut the door, and I'm going to put my seatbelt on. Also just looking around, taking notice of what's going on in the vehicle, making sure that everything's all kosher. And then I'm going to hit start ride. You can also do this through the app, but it's fun to play with the touch screen. One of the reasons why I started taking Waymo is because my car broke down, and it was an option that was available to do basic things like grocery shopping and restaurants. My husband and I went to a concert once, and we had, some alcohol, and we took a Waymo back home. It was better than, an Uber and having the Uber driver worry about us in the back seat. Another thing that happened was one of our kids got sick at night, and because the Waymo runs 24/7, we were able to hail a Waymo at 1 a.m. and go to a 24-hour Walgreens to get a humidifier and some medicine, and it was just so convenient. And the Waymo is just such a smooth ride, and it's a comfortable ride. Look at all this space. So after that, we pretty much realized that this option is not only viable and safe, but it's reliable. And that was really important to us in a family of 5, me, my husband, and our 3 kids, all different ages, all with different schedules, and trying to navigate through all of that on one car is really difficult. But adding the Waymo to our life has made things so much easier for us. And it's so fun. Like, who doesn't like riding in the belly of a robot? I mean, that's how we feel. So right now, what you're looking at is the driver's side and the passenger side at the front. There's nobody in the front of the car. The Waymo driver is operating the vehicle. So it's going the speed limit. Right now we're outside of a park, and it's 25 miles per hour here. And I've now taken this route with the Waymo vehicle several times, and it is consistent. It consistently follows the traffic laws. It's also very careful. If it sees people walking on the sidewalks, or a bird or a dog, it kind of has its own personality. Sometimes it'll hesitate a little bit, and it's just gauging, its surroundings, and you can kind of feel it. I never really feel like I have to be a backseat driver. Also, it's a little reassuring, if I admit this, yeah, I'll admit this, to hear the signal when it uses its signal. So because again, it's following traffic laws, it wants all the vehicle drivers around it to know where it's going, and that, with enough time for them to understand and make decisions too. And it's just reassuring to hear the, I don't know if you can pick it up in this video. Also, what I really like about driving in this car, for those of you who might be worried, for me, I was worried in the beginning. I was very scared when I first took this. It shows you everything that the technology around the car is sensing. So you can see right here that we are at a red light. And when the light turns green, you will see it turn green on the screen here, and then the vehicle will move forward. It also shows you everything that is going on around it. And you can use this menu here to do different things. So it can show you different views as well. The map view, which it defaults to, the car view, you can pick music. Let's see what riding tips shows you. so we don't have to go through the whole entire video, but you have some options here in this screen as well. You also have these buttons over here. If you ever feel like you need help, you can just press it right here. Here we go. You can lock the doors and unlock the doors from here. You can hit pull over if you're feeling sick or you just need a reason to pull over. And you can also start ride from up here. There's also Braille for the visually impaired. You can bring other passengers with you, including children. So my daughter rode in this car seat, maybe not this specific one, but one like it. And they also have a booster seat available. And that's what she uses now when I take her on trips with me. So you can have 3 adults in the car and 1 child. Or you could have 2 children in the car and 2 adults. The fastest I've ever seen the Waymo go is 45 miles per hour. But it's also I've only taken it on roads where the fastest speed limit is 45 miles per hour. I've never seen it go faster than 45. Right now, we are going to a bakery. I want to surprise my kids when they get home from their activities with some goodies. And then I'm going to be taking the Waymo to the mall to pick something up. And then I'll be taking it back home. I was able to schedule all of these trips in the app. So I'm doing a round trip with multiple stops. And it's very easy to do, so convenient. And I'm able to plan my day around the Waymo use. Some other things to note in the car, obviously cleanliness and sanitation is very important. So they make that very convenient for you if you feel comfortable. If you want to just wipe things down while you're in the car, you can do so. You can also control the AC from here and make it as comfortable as you'd like, but you can also use the windows. Very convenient. Right now it's about 106 degrees in Phoenix, Arizona, so we will not be putting the windows down. I will be enjoying the AC. The first time I went into a Waymo, I was actually very scared. I had my husband sit in this chair so that I couldn't see the wheel turning itself. At that time, it was in 2018, and they still had Waymo employees sitting at the front. Sometimes it was just in the driver's seat. Sometimes it was in both the driver and the passenger side. But I insisted on sitting behind the driver so that I couldn't see what was going on. And I actually didn't want to believe that the human being that was sitting in the driver's seat wasn't to some degree controlling the car. But in that first ride, a bird flew right in front of the car, and the Waymo abruptly stopped, and the Waymo employee actually had to manually take over because the car couldn't decide what to do next. And I was so scared. Not scared enough to, not try this again. It got us to our destination and picked us up from our destination and brought us home safely. But it just took a little bit of getting used to. I also made it a point to go online and learn a little bit more about this technology, because honestly, I'm not tech oriented whatsoever. I do like to use technology, obviously, but I really didn't understand what LiDAR meant, or level 4, or really, how is this even possible? Like, how is this allowed to be driven on public roads, But then I learned that they've been working on this for a really long time. And I also remember seeing several of these cars here for years. So it's really exciting that they chose Phoenix, Arizona to deploy these services. And honestly, I love taking Waymos more than any other rideshare. To be honest with you, I take naps in here sometimes. It happens. as much as I try to document everything, because I like to show everybody as much as I can, expose what is going on with Waymo. I want people to be comfortable with this technology, and I want people to be excited, because this is exciting. It's increasing accessibility and mobility for people who maybe can't drive because of physical reasons, or they can't see, or they don't have a driver's license, whatever it may be. Their opportunities to go to places opens up because of this service. And also, if I'm being real, I don't want to make small talk with the driver, okay? So I'm pretty comfortable riding in here by myself or with my family and not having to worry about superficial conversations. That's not fun for me. I don't see any fulfillment in that. As far as, I don't know, close calls, I really haven't experienced anything of the sort. The Waymo driver, even though it has a personality, always errs on the side of caution. And even with the ignorance that I still bring to the table with this technology, I am very comfortable taking rides with Waymo. I bring friends in the car with me as well. I want them to experience this. I make videos and post them so that people can get exposed to this technology and be excited about it. And the next time someone visits Phoenix, this has to be on their list of things to do. Taking a rideshare through Waymo. Right now we're waiting to make a right-hand turn at a red light. And, this is, I would say, high traffic time. People are on their way home. It's the late afternoon. And so far, this has been a pretty smooth ride. No complaints, but I rarely ever do have any complaints. Sometimes if I had to pick a complaint, it's because I had to wait in the sun for the car to arrive. And really, that's not a real problem, right? I feel lucky and humbled enough to live in an area that has this service available. So the car is actually slowing down here. It sees somebody in the middle of the road and somebody on the sidewalk. So it's just taking its time. And I honestly, I'm not mad at it. I would prefer that it takes these kinds of precautions. So that was an example of the personality that the car can have. And I've been in several different cars, like each car has a number on it, and they all have a personality. These are not boring rides, even though I do take naps in them from time to time. Honestly, you just get so relaxed, and if you don't have anything else to do, why not take a nap? And when you get close to your destination, which you'll hear in a little bit, it chimes and then warns you that you're almost at your destination. So that always wakes me up. One time I took too long putting my child in their car seat, and I think it times like how long it takes before you press start. And I heard a voice come through the speakers asking if everything was okay. And I was like, yep, I'm just slow trying to figure out the car seat. So actually they're monitoring this in some way, but also just making sure that you're okay and that you're comfortable and that you are aware that there's help if you need it. And I love that. Feels very secure. I also like to see people's reactions to when they're driving up next to us at a stoplight. But nobody seems shocked or surprised to see a car driving itself. And that's a little disappointing. I like to see people's reactions. Another thing I didn't mention earlier is that it does keep track of how far you are from your destination. Oh, and you were able to see the light change. So that was cool. So a car just made a left turn and the Waymo is slowing down. Very good. I feel really comfortable taking these because I know that the Waymo driver doesn't, even though it has a personality, it doesn't have any emotions that affect its drivability. So if it's having a bad day or a fantastic day, either way, it's going to drive consistently and consistently follow the rules of the road. I don't have to worry about the Waymo driver falling asleep or driving drunk. And that's very comforting. It's comforting for me, and it's comforting to know that when my family is taking drives in the Waymo. We have a 17-year-old and she's learning how to drive, and I purposely take rides with her in the Waymo so she can see the traffic rules, because, you know, as adults we develop habits, and you know, as I'm being careful about which habits I've developed, the Waymo driver's not trying to pick a song on the radio, it's not looking around for something that it dropped, it's not looking at the driver to its left and, you know, having road rage, nothing like that. And more importantly, when it stops behind a car, it stops at a specific distance. It stops at stop signs for a specific amount of time consistently. And I like that being reinforced, especially with our children and especially with our 17-year-old who is learning how to drive. But I secretly hope, like, seriously, it's not even that much of a secret, I really hope she doesn't have to drive that often. Because honestly, it's cheaper to take Waymo. She doesn't have to worry about maintaining her car as long as the Waymo goes to all the destinations that she needs to get to, which it does currently. Why worry about putting gas in your car and breaking down on the side of the road and worry about driving and having to pay attention to the road? Even on a bad day, you just get in the back seat and let the Waymo driver take you to your destination. So she'll have a driver's license, but I'm hoping she doesn't have to use it that often for driving. Usually when people ask me questions about the videos that I post, it's always about, how does it make you feel to see the wheel turning itself? How does it make you feel to see the miles per hour increase and decrease? And at this point, I'm super excited. Like, I'm always trying to record the pedals moving by itself. I've yet to be able to do that. I don't even know if the pedals do move by themselves. But everything about this experience, everything about what Waymo is doing is absolutely fascinating to me. I think it's very important work. They are building, you know, the world's most experienced driver and making safety a number one priority to make the roads safer for all of us. And that's very exciting. So right now it shows that we are 6 minutes away from our destination. We're due to arrive by 6:40. And one thing I want to mention, because I've taken multiple trips before, once I get to the destination and I exit the vehicle, I press the button to close the door, the app then takes over and tells me when to re-engage the app when I want to call the Waymo back. And sometimes I actually get the same Waymo, depending on how long I take at the destination. And sometimes they just make sure there's a Waymo in the area so I don't have to wait that long, and they send a different one to pick me up. But all the communication happens through the app. And if you need more information, then you can call for help. There's several ways that you can do that. They have a chat function, you can email, or you can leave your phone number and they will call you. I've used all three of these functions and never had to wait too long for someone to get back to me. So that's another reason why I feel like using Waymo is reliable and safe. I don't really ever feel like I'm alone. And I know that sounds kind of creepy and weird, but it's comforting to me, you know? I've heard rumors that people think the Waymos don't make left-hand turns. So you just saw it make a left-hand turn at the light. And I don't really know where that came from, but I do find it interesting. I have found that it does try to take the routes that are not as populated, and to me that makes for a smoother ride. I'm kind of a geek now about Waymo since becoming a Waymo enthusiast, really a fully automation enthusiast, and I just love to see the wheel turning itself now. 4 minutes until we get there. I've also always been intrigued. I've taken the Waymo so many times at this point, and sometimes it takes a different route to the same destination that it's taken me to before. And I guess it depends on the time of day and how much traffic there is. But for example, there's a much more straightforward route to where we're going, and it didn't take that way. So this I would say, yes, this is the time when most people are coming off of work and they're going to their next destination. This was a very smooth ride, so I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. This has been great, and I'm looking forward to getting these treats, getting dropped off, and heading over to my next destination. What I really want to show you guys is how it navigates parking lots, because where we're going, even though I said it's a bakery, it's also a grocery store, and you know, those tend to have a lot of people in the parking lot, and I like how the Waymo always drops me off in front of grocery stores. It's almost like it's looking out for my safety, and it won't even stop fully and unlock the doors until it feels like they found the perfect spot for me to get out of the car. It's always looking out for us. Sometimes, it's very rare, like when I fall asleep in this car and I wake up, there's the warning.
Arriving shortly at Useless Shore. If you exit, please take all your belongings. Occasionally we replace cars during a stop. This shouldn't affect your wait time.
Here's our destination. And like I said, the drop-offs are usually pretty smooth. I mean, I've never had a bad drop-off. This is what it looks like when it's dropping you off. Here we go. To get out of the car, I press this button right here. It is kind of weird not saying thank you. And I press the button again to close the door. Now, huh?
Driving?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Go over there, stop driving.